Kalinga Mahabharata. Kalinga is a kingdom described in the legendary Indian text Mahabharata. They were a warrior clan who settled in and around the historical Kalinga region, present-day Odisha, West Bengal, Bangladesh, and northern parts of Andhra Pradesh. Kalinga clan warriors sided with Duryodhana in the Kurukshetra War due to matrimonial and harmony alliances between both kingdoms of Kalinga and Kuru existing even before the Great War of Mahabharata was. Kalinga is the founders of 5 eastern kingdoms, which included Angas East, Central Bihar, Vangas Southern West Bengal and Bangladesh, Udra Odisha, East Madhya Pradesh and South Jharkhand, Pundras Western Bangladesh and West Bengal, India, Suhmas Northwestern Bangladesh and West Bengal shared common ancestry. 2 capitals Dantapura and Rajapura of Kalinga were mentioned in Mahabharata. Probably there were many Kalinga kings ruling different territories of Kalinga, with many migrated outside for new kingdom formations. References in Mahabharata. Kalinga was a separate kingdom, which is mentioned as an ancient Indian Bharatavarsha kingdom, along with the Vadhas and again along with the Karatas residing in the east at 69. Birth of the 5 royal lines. The 5 royal lines of Anga, Vanga, Udra present Odisha, Pundra and Suma were born from the adopted sons of King Bali. This Bali's kingdom Kalinga was either Magadha kingdom or some kingdom close to it. There existed a kingdom to the south of Magadha, as per many Puranas. King Bali seems to be a king, like the famous King Mahabali, who was also known as Bali or Vali. The 5 royal sons were actually the sons of the sage Durgatamas. Durgatamas was a sage born in the race of Gautama and Anguras. He was also known as Gautama. His eldest son also was known as Gautama. 1104. Though Durgatamas was a great sage, he was blind. He was cast away by his sons and wife, who threw him into river Ganges in a raft. King Bali saved him. Knowing who he was, the childless king chose him to raise offspring upon the queen, according to the ordinances of those times. Thus was born the famous 5 kings. After their names 5 countries were formed. It is after their names that their dominions have come to be called Anga, Vanga, Udra, Pundra and Suma. 1104. Gautama's abode was in Girivraja, the capital of Magadha. Gautama begat on the Sudra woman Asanari, the daughter of Usanara, the royal sage Kakshavat, and the other 5 celebrated sons. These 5 monarchs used to visit Gautama in his abode. 221. The eastern kings mentioned in the Swayamvara of Panchali. Kalinga king attended the Swayamvara of Draupadi, along with Chandrasena. Sahadeva's conquests. Quests, 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 quests. Sahadeva brought under his subjection and exacted tributes from the Pandavas or Pandya kingdom, and the Dravidas along with the Udra Karalas and the Andhras and the Talavanas, the Kalingas, and the Ashtrakarnakas, and also the delightful city of Adavi, and that of the Yavanas. 230. Dantapura, now known as Puri city of Odisha, was mentioned as the capital of Kalinga in the epic Mahabharata 5:23. Sahadeva, the Pandava general, had visited this city. Kalinga is mentioned to have another capital named Rajapura. Dantapura was conquered by Sahadeva 523. Karna's conquests. Quests. Quests, 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 on quests, 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 on quests, 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 on quests, 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 was conquests. Karna conquered and brought under subjection all the kings inhabiting the Himavat and made them pay dues. Then descending from the mountain and rushing to the east, he reduced the Angas, and the Bangas, and the Udras, and the Mandakas, and the Magadhas, the Karkakondas, and also included with them the Avasiras, Yadiyas, and the Akshatras. 3252. 52. Other conquests of Kalinga. Vasudeva Krishna also is mentioned to have vanquished a Kalinga king, along with the Pandyas and the city of Varanasi Banaras in Kasi. 866. Bhima also is mentioned to have vanquished the Kalingas along with all the people of Kasi and Anga, and Magadha 550. Bhargava Rama is mentioned to have conquered the Kalingas along with the Angas and Vangas 668. Yudhishthira's entry into his new palace at Indraprastha. Kalinga king Esrutayus attended the event of Yudhishthira entering his new palace at Indraprastha, along with Jayasena the king of Magadha. King Bhagadatta seems to have swayed over all the eastern kingdoms including Pundra, Suma, Vanga, and Kalinga. Anga kingdom was ruled by his friend Karna, and Virihadvala was the king of Kosala kingdom, his another friend. King Bhagadatta of Pragjyotisha, accompanied by all Mlechcha tribes inhabiting the marshy regions on the seashore, and many mountain kings, and King Virihadvala and Vasudeva the king of the Pondrayas and Kalinga came to the sacrifice. Similarly the Akastha and Kuntala, and the kings of the Malavas, and the Andrakas, and the Dravidas and the Singhalas also came. 233. Kalinga king was mentioned as a charioteer at 243. Kalingas have brought tribute to the king Yudhishthira along with other kings like the Vangas, the Magadhas, the Tamraliptas, the Supandrakas, the Dovalikas, the Sagarakas. 251. Duryodhana marries from Kalinga. Duryodhana married the daughter of Chitrangada, who was a Kalinga king, with the capital at Rajapura. This was different from the South Kalinga kingdom, with the capital at Dantapura vanquished by Sahadeva. Once on a time many kings repaired to a self-choice at the capital of Chitrangada, the ruler of the country of the Kalingas. The city full of opulence was known by the name of Rajapura. Arjuna's pilgrimage. Arjuna visited all the regions of sacred waters and other holy palaces in Kalinga during his 12-year-old pilgrimage, traveling the whole of ancient India. 1127. Pandavas' pilgrimage. Pandavas, during their 12-year exile from their kingdom, set for a pilgrimage traveling the whole of ancient India, guided by sage Lamasa. Pandavas started from the river Kausaki, now known as Kosi in Bihar, and repaired in succession to all the sacred shrines. They came to the sea where the river Ganges falls into it, and there in the center of 500 rivers performed the holy ceremony of a plunge. Then they proceeded by the shore of the sea towards the land where the Kalinga tribes dwell. Through it passeth the river Vaitarani, now known as River Baitarani in Odisha 3114. 14. Drupada's list of kings. Drupada, the father-in-law of the Pandavas and the king of Panchala, made a list of kings to be summoned to assist the Pandavas in the Kurukshetra War. In the list is mentioned Esrutayus, with other Kalinga kings, Samadrasena Vanga king, etc. 54. Kalingas in Kurukshetra War. Kalingas were mentioned as allied to Kauravas at many places, like at 5-6295. Kalinga king Esrutayud, also known as Esrutayus and Esrutay, was one among the generals in the Kaurava army. 616. The generals of Kaurava army were Shakyani, a chief from Gandhara kingdom; Shalya, the king of Madhya kingdom; Jayadratha, the king of Sindhu kingdom; Vinda and Anuvinda, two brothers and kings of Avanti kingdom. The Kekaya brothers from Kekaya kingdom opposed the Kekayas on the Pandava side; Sudakshana, the king of Kamboja kingdom; Esrutayudha, the king of Kalinga kingdom; Jayatsena, a king of Magadha kingdom; Virihadvala, the king of Kosala kingdom; Kritavarma, a Yadava chief from Anarta kingdom. Bhima slew Kalinga king Esrutayush and other Kalinga heroes. The Battle of Kalingas is mentioned at various places 6-1 trillion, 756 billion, 707,188,118 471 sextillion, 120 quintillion, 447 quadrillion, 290 trillion, 118 billion. The prominent among them was their battle with Pandava Bhima, which proved fatal to all the Kalinga heroes. 6-5,354, 870. Then King Duryodhana urged the ruler of the Kalingas, supported by a large division, for the protection of Bharadwaja's son, Drona. Then that terrible and mighty division of the Kalingas rushed against Bhima, and then commenced a fierce battle between the Kalingas and the high-souled Bhima. 653. The mighty king of the Kalingas, Asrutayash, accompanied by a large army, advanced towards Bhima's car. The ruler of the Kalingas, with many thousands of cars, supported by Ketumat, the son of the king of the Nishadas, with 10,000 elephants, and the Nishada army, surrounded Bhimasna on all sides. Then the Chettis, the Matsyas, and Karashas, with Bhimasni at their head, with many kings, impetuously rushed against the Nishadas. Terrific was the collision that took place between the few and many, between the Chettis on the one side and the Kalingas and the Nishadas on the other. The Chettis, abandoning Bhima, turned back, but Bhima, encountering all the Kalingas, did not turn back. Bhima, staying on his car, whose steeds had been slain, hurled at Sakradva, the son of the Kalinga, King Esrutash, a mace made of the hardest iron. And slain by that mace, the son of the ruler of the Kalingas, from his car, fell down on the ground with his standard and charioteer. Later he slew Baidumat, the prince of Kalingas, by ascending the back of his elephant and cutting his body in half with sword. Bhima, drawing his bow, slew the ruler of the Kalingas, Esrutayash, with 7 shafts made wholly of iron. And with 2 shafts he slew the 2 protectors of the car wheels of the Kalinga king. And he also dispatched Satyeva and Sati. 654. A Kalinga ruler other than Esrute lead the Kalinga army during the rest of the days in battle. 7-790. 2 brothers Kalinga and Virashaka were mentioned as slain in battle at 85. A Kalinga king is mentioned to be slain at 1125. Karna's opinion on the Kalingas. Karna rebukes Shalya during the Kurukshetra War, and his race, and all the other tribes who had slightest similarity with Shalya's tribe. The Karashakas, the Mahashakas, the Kalingas, the Keralas, the Karkatakas, the Varakas, and other peoples of no religion, one should always avoid. 844. The Kauravas with the Panchalas, the Salvas, the Matsyas, the Naimishas, the Kashalas, the Kasapandras, the Kalingas, the Magathas, and the Chettis, who are all highly blessed, know what the eternal religion is. 845. Siva worship in Kalinga. Siva is worshipped in the country of the Kalingas in the form of a tiger. Siva has an image in the country of the Kalingas that is called Vyagriswara. 1317. Absence of Brahmins in Kalinga. It is in consequence of the absence of Brahmanas from among them that the Sakas, the Yavanas, the Kambojas, and other Kshatriya tribes have become fallen and degraded into the status of Sudras. The Dravidas, the Kalingas, the Pilandas, the Uzanaras, the Kalasarpas, the Mahashakas, and other Kshatriyas have, in consequence of the absence of Brahmanas from among their midst, become degraded into Sudras. 1333. Other references. A Kalinga princess named Karamba was wedded to Akradhana, a Kuru king. Sivatithi was their son. 195. An ally of Karatkaya, generalissimo of Deva army, is mentioned as Kalinga. 945.